Okay, now one question I actually get asked a lot is how do you actually evolve players? Now, I thought I would go through this, make an in-depth tutorial, and try to keep it concise first, and then I'll go in more in depth. So basically, to evolve players effectively, you go to Ultimate Team, and then you want to go to Club, and then go to Evolutions. This tab over here. Now, effectively, this is where you can upgrade a player. Okay, so let's say for example, you can see on the left-hand side that's the gold card. And you can see on the right hand side, that's what I can upgrade it to. So you can see on the left hand side, that I can upgrade her dribbling. I can upgrade multiple stats. Now, obviously, different evolution will have different upgrades. So, for example, if I go over here to Welcome to Evolutions, Intro into Evolutions, you can see, look, this one just a cosmetic one. Okay. If I go over here to Evolutions over here, we got Sprint Supreme. This gives plus 10 sprint speed, plus 10 acceleration, up to a maximum of 78. Now, to see what players are eligible, you can just press X, and then you can see a player. So I can, for example, choose Pavard, and then, for example, I'll flick up. So there's some challenges. I got to win 3 matches in Rush, Rivals, or Squad Battles, and then I'll get the first upgrade, and I flick it to the right-hand side, and then I'll get the next set of upgrades. So what I'll do is I'll play all those games, come back to this evolution. I can then collect the card at level 1, and then I can make it level 2 as well. So that's the way. Now, what I would recommend, though, that is one good way. But what I'd recommend is this website called foot.gg, okay? So I'm just going to show you exactly what I would do, right? So there's this website, and it shows you all the evolutions and all the players available, because this is only showing you, you see, for example, like here, it's only showing you players that are in your club. But there might be a player that you want to purchase that you can evolve. I'll give you an example, okay? Let's say, for example, we go on this website, foot.gg, and we go to evolutions. Let's say, for example, they'll have a list of all the new evolutions on the site. Let's say you want to go from box to box, okay? Now, you can have a look at evolved players. You can see eligible players. These are all the eligible players. But the main tab is evolved players, because then you can see all the players when they're fully evolved. And this is done by a rating order. But of course, if you want to, you can fine tune a stat. So let's say you, for example, you're looking for a player. Let's just say you want their sprint speed, for example, to be, I don't know, above 80. You can apply that filter and you get all the players above 80 sprint speed. So let's say, for example, you want Kone, for example. You can see the different type of evolutions, but you can see you can also stack Evos. So I can do this one Evo, for example, the box to box, and I could upgrade a card fully. So, for example, I could, in theory, upgrade this Herrera card, and I can upgrade them fully. So you can see I get more stats. I also get the playstyle, and then I got 3 different levels. But then I could also evolve this card again. It's called chaining evolutions. Can I think of it like, imagine like you're washing your clothes, right? First of all, you go and you put them in a basket. That's the first step. Then you go put them in a washing machine. Then they're washed, and then they go into the dryer. So maybe that's not the best example, but that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. But anyway, I'm saying it's stages. Now you can take your clothes out the washing machine at any time you want. But if you want the best evolution, for example, or the fully upgraded player, or you want, that's when you basically go through the whole process. So you can see these are all the different combinations. So for example, you can see here, I can turn Kone into an 84 rated if I do the octopus, intro into stats, and then box to box. So you're effectively doing one evolution, completing that, then putting that already evolved upgraded card into another evolution, and then you're putting it into another evolution, and you're chaining it together. If you click on all versions at the top, it will tell you all the different versions. So you can, for example, see every single theoretical version that is available. So what you could do is, let's say, for example, you want to go to the box to box, and let's say, for example, you don't want to chain anything, you just want to look for evolved players, and you just want to use, for example, box to box. You click on this only, and you can do this one, uses only selected evolutions. And then, for example, you can see Garcia, as you can see, only uses the box to box evolution. So that is how you can see who is viable to do for an evolution. Because, for example, like you might have a card in your club, like, for example, I know Turam, I can upgrade Turam, but you might want to choose another card to upgrade. Yeah, you can have a quick glance. You can press R3 and see, okay, if I upgrade them fully, I get the pace upgrade, I get the dribbling upgrade, and the physical, but I can get a better card. So that website is very, very important. Now, what's even more important, this is the top NealGuides tip. Now, what I do normally on my second channel, so actually the channel you're watching this on, if you want to subscribe to this channel, I have a main channel as well. I can't even search for my own channel here. But what I do is I give you the best solutions for evolution. So this is, by the time you watch this video, this should be a bit different, but I give you best suggestions for the evolution. This is my second channel. My main channel is NealGuides. You may have, if you watch FC content, you may have seen me before doing tutorials. But I go through evolutions. But one thing I say to you is always wait, okay? This is very important. Okay, now I'll explain to you why. Let's say, for example, this evolution, for example, let's just say we go into evolution. Let's say, imagine we check it at 6 p.m. and a new one comes out called, for example, I'm trying to find anyone. Let's say, I'm trying to find one that maybe I can explain very good. Okay, let's say Sprint Supreme. Okay, you can see it expires at 26 days, right? So after 26 days, evolution is going to disappear forever. But I can start the evolution within 19 days. So what I would do is basically, after like, so what I will do basically is I'll be like, there could be an evolution that chains together. So let's say Sprint Supreme, right? You can turn any of these players to have a maximum of 78 sprint speed and you can boost the player up. Okay, that's fine. But there might be another evolution in like 2 weeks' time that says, for example, you can now make this player for an 84 rated and below have 82 sprint speed. So although you might choose Ake to evolve and you might chain him into the next evolution, what could happen is when both evolutions come out, for example, that's what happened over here. If I go to evolution players, you can see some of these players. Some people did intro to stats because that was the first one that came out. Everyone rushed to do it, but now there's more evolutions available where you can create even better players. So what I would say is, if you really want to do an evolution, just wait. You can have a look, unless it's really a card you want to do that you know is going to be extinct or that's very, very overpowered, or you might stack it later on. You're planning later on. Okay, fine. Otherwise, I would say always wait because, for example, if you go to evolution players, you can see, like, for example, like João Gomez. If you do box to box and octopus, you've actually got a very, very good card here. But if, for example, you hastily did the octopus, you can't then go back to do box to box because once you've done an evolution, that's it. You can only do an evolution one time unless it says on a very rest. I think like, nothing's ever happened. It's called repeatable. Unless it's a repeatable evolution, you can't do an evolution again. So that's basically how it works. So you can see over here the play requirements. It has to be 84 rated or centre back, and then you can see if it's the right analog stick, you can see the upgrades, what you have to do for the tasks, win matches, whatever. You have to play with evolution, of course. The evolution has to be starting in your squad. It can't be on a sub bench, has to be in your starting 11. And if you have to score a goal with evolution, you got to do that as well. And that's basically pretty much it. That's basically evolutions in a nutshell. A lot of people ask me this question. I always forgot to make this video. But I said, do subscribe to my channel to see more information guides on what best evolutions to do. There's certain combinations that are hidden, and this is something that you got to bear in mind. A lot of these evolutions are pants, to be in colloquial terms, is absolutely garbage. So, for example, if I go to evolution players, like, I'm not going to use someone with 68 pace. Like, maybe if you're in Division 10, you want to have some fun. Okay, fine. By all means, use the card. I'm not saying don't. But like, but you have a chance to get a really good card, why would you want this card? So a lot of them are rubbish. So you can see, like, although there's technically 400, look, there's 400 potential evolutions that I could basically choose here. But I know, for example, realistically, I want people at least with a minimum of sprint speed of 80, right? If it's a striker, it's got to be 85. So you can see minimum, like, now I've took the pages down, but let's say I go for a striker. Realistically, a striker should have realistically 85 sprint speed. And then let's say, for example, I want finishing to be, let's just say 85 as well. 84, whatever. So you can see now there's only 10 pages of real top tier cards left. So that's what I'm trying to say. You have to take all these things into account. If you're someone like me, I'm even more particular. I want someone, for example, who then has, for example, a certain play style, or I may want a certain 5-star weak foot. And once you add all things like a 5-star weak foot, once you add all these things in, then sometimes only a few pages left of a few cards that you want. So always take these into account when you do these evolutions. Hope this helped anyway, and that's how you do evolutions. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.